Hello, everyone. On this video, we're going to talk about yet another example of how to take your team one from level 2 to level 4. And in this example, the breakdown we're talking about is specifically to his gaming award. So occasionally, your team one will coming to you saying, "Oh, I create a game and I have like 4 team members, and then I ask them to do this, I ask them to do that. None of them doing that. So and then whenever your team one uh, take that to you, so how would you respond? So first step one is to identify where your team one is. When he described the breakdown, listen for whether if he's in level 2, then he goes straight into the point of view and going to saying, "Oh my God, I'm not enough. I'm not lovable.
I'm doing all the work.
Yeah, I'm doing all the work, and nobody else is doing work. So listen for that fairness,
Hmm.
and that's a signal he's in level 2. Or if he's in level 3, he's come up with all the doing, like, oh my God, I need to put in actual effort. I need to bring coffee to everyone. I need to do this. I need to do this. He started listing a bunch of stuff that he needs to do to actually getting the game going, and eventually he become the only person who's pushing the game forward.
Mm.
And then he goes straight into overwhelm. It's like
Hmm.
this is too much stuff in addition to my regular job and regular life, and that's a signal he's in level 3. So whenever he's in level 2 or level 3, you wanted to first do a short recreate, and then letting him, uh, putting him in, saying, "Hey, if you choose level 4, how the breakdown looks like to you." Be, be, because all the breakdown in level 2 occurs as some type of emotion stress, like a complaint. In level 3, it occurs as I need to do more, I need to do more, I need to do more to make this work. But in level 4, it occurs to him as a communication breakdown, like a my recreation is not effective. My conversation of relatedness is not effective. People are out of possibility. It's why I go with conversation of action. They decline. So then typically again, I will go first go to recreation, and then step 2 I will say, okay, let's step back, take 5 minutes, let's live in this fantasy world, and then if you choose,
Hmm.
and I understand right now you're choosing level 2 or level 3, and that's how the world occurs to you, and that's perfectly fine, absolutely nothing wrong with it. But should
Let me
you,
stop you for just a second. I want to be clear on this. You actually say the words
I
to the
actually
team.
say the word
You are in level 2. You say that.
that I'm saying that behavior signals
Hmm.
that you're choosing responsibility level 2, and there's absolutely nothing wrong in choosing any level.
Hmm.
the the only thing is when you're choosing the level, you're also choosing the outcome with it.
Hmm.
So I want to make it clear there's no should there, like there's no you should choose level 4. No, absolutely not. You choose level 4 because you want to choose level 4. But if you want to stay in level 2, absolutely nothing wrong with it. So should you choose level 4, how does the breakdown occurs to you? Now I repeat the breakdown, saying the what so is you ask Mary to do this, and then she says no. And this is what you said, this is what she said, this is what you said, this is what she said. If you choose to be level 4, what else can you say? And so I start bringing the team one into the conversation, relatedness, and recreation. And then I'll have the team one to create, saying, okay, if you are going to recreate her, how would you recreate? And if you are going into conversation relatedness, tell me who she is to you right now. And then once the team one goes through saying, okay, I think she's too busy, I think she doesn't care. Once the team one goes through the first cut of who she is to me, I'll say, oh, that's fantastic, nothing wrong with it. But if you are applying conversational relatedness, creating who you are to me from nothing, purely from acknowledgement, how else would you say it? And then creating who you are to me and creating who I am to you as a commitment. And having the team one practice that. So this way, it accomplished two things. The first thing is, if the team one is in level 2, which the emotion response is depression, level 3, it is overwhelm. Once he sees he has an option to respond in level 2, the other two reactions naturally just disappear. He's no longer in depression or overwhelmed. He's actually saying, oh, I can create newly like this. And the second goal is, once he create this in the fantasy world, it gives me the basis to putting him into action. Because at the end of coaching call, I always end with a request saying, now you know how to speak to Mary now. I'm going to request you to have that conversation with Mary between this call and Wednesday night. Do you accept? Because my job is to putting him into action. And then by Wednesday night, he has a call. He may be very good and succeed in that, or he may have another breakdown, but we're making progress. So I always leave the call with a request. Any question in that?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm hearing you say is that you are referring to the different levels of responsibility, which is a co-creation. So for people who are not using that, perhaps they could use something like going back to 100% responsibility, 0 over there, 50-50 or whatever. And I think that what you're also saying is that it's important to be able to establish what the different levels or the different types of responsibility are, so that as you're having this conversation and referring to, you can choose to stay there or you can come over into these. It gives them a place of relatedness that they can both speak from. Is that right?
Correct. So I just find this is the easiest way for me to explain to my team one what of playing in team 1 level or playing in team 2 level is like, by using level of responsibility. Because if you're looking at level 1, level 2, level 3, these actually make sense for people even without Lamar background. But when you explain level 4, it is really based on the team 1. Like in order for you to have the technology for accomplishment, you need to choose the level 4 responsibility. In order for you to actually having to be in the breakdown in the technology for accomplishment, because you are actually taking responsibility of the communication between you and the other person, and you're also taking responsibility of how other person react.
This is brilliant, because what I'm also seeing is part of the source of perhaps some of the breakdowns that a team one experiences is they're having the technology for accomplishment conversations, but they're not coming from the level 4 of 100% responsibility for team. They're still coming from a different area. So the breakdown they're having is not within the technology for accomplishment. It's something else.
Exactly. It's actually quite frequent the person stay in level 2, the fairness, but he's trying to use the technology for accomplishment.
Mhm.
But and then he still occurs to him, this needs to be fair. I do this, you do this, I do this, you do this. But when he's apply the conversational relatedness on top of that, it just doesn't work.
But why can't I? How come it's not working? Well, let's take a look. That's good. Okay, got that.
Yeah, well, the whole source is the conversational relatedness is focusing 100% on the other person. It's focusing how the word occurs to the other person, how the other person feels, how other person triggers.
Mhm.
And in order for you to do that, you got to disappearing yourself in that conversation. And when you're in level 2, you're actually focusing in me. And that's the source why it doesn't work. Because when you're focusing in me, you cannot establish the technology for accomplishment.
Because it has nothing to do with
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Got that.
Is there any final questions?
Nope, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Kai.
You bet.